Alright, I'm going to attempt to do a little video on how I put a video together, how I record it and put it together and everything. So, to start with, there's a Yeti Blue Snowball mic to the left of my computer. That's what I use to record the audio with. It's kind of hard to see. There we go, that's better. With a screen in front of it when I actually start recording. To the right, there's my tripod, which I will put my camera on in a little bit, my phone. And right in the middle is my music, and we'll open up Audacity. Come on, open up. And after I start Audacity recording, I will just bring the music to the top so I can see it again. I'm going to be sitting here right in front of my computer doing this. I want to check and make sure that all my settings are correct. Nothing has changed, so that should be about it for this side, just so you can see where I have things set up. And I'll see you on the flip side. Alrighty then. I have my room light turned on, so maybe you can see a little better. I usually have that turned off. And I got a desk lamp over here to the right also with an adjustable brightness. I usually put it on pretty bright, so my fretting hand at least is visible. Even though I never do anything fancy with it, I just play basic chords pretty much. So what I will do, let's see first. Let me check the tuning on here. Before you start playing, you should make sure you're in tune. This should be in tune because I just recently checked it. It's a good thing to check again though, because these strings are fairly new. I changed them just a couple of weeks ago and they're not all... They're still stretching in a little bit. Just a tiny bit. So what I will do is I will click the record on my phone camera first, and then I'll click record on Audacity, and then last I'll click record on this, which is a Tascam DR05X digital recorder, and it's going to just be sitting over here next to the Blue Snowball mic. And that's just a backup because every once in a while my computer has a little issue where there's a little bit of a hiccup and it drops some recorded audio. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's really annoying. So I'm going to use the Tascam as just a backup in case I have a problem with the computer. This is a song I've done before and it's not very long, so hopefully this will be easier than if I tried to do a more epic song. Last time I did it, it wasn't for a theme, it was just something I did for fun. Still drinking iced tea. But it fits this month's theme of state names in the title, so I'll do it. So let's see, before I begin recording, I will clap my hands to create a sync point to make synchronizing the audios better later, because I'm not actually going to use the audio from the phone except as a synchronization point. And so I already got the phone running, I don't need to click that, so I'll go ahead and start Audacity, start the other recorder. And after I clap my hands, I want to leave some silence so I have a nice clean beginning. See if I can do this without messing up. Down in Arizona moon, please do several long seconds of silence at the end also, before you do anything, before you take a big breath to inhale or start making remarks about what you've done, and make sure that you don't slap your hand back down on your uke and have a nice loud thump there at the end after you hit that last chord, or accidentally bang your knee against the cabinet door down here, which is something that I do a lot. And that should be it. And then we'll have to switch to the screen recorder and show you how it's all put together. Okay, we got our recording here in Audacity. It recorded without any problems this time. So if you're going to be using Audacity, something you need to do first of all is go to Help, Manual, and this will open up the manual in your browser. The manual comes with it. It'll be on your computer, and it just uses your browser to navigate, but it's still offline. It's possible to use Audacity without what I'm about to tell you about, but it's easier if you do it this way. So you scroll down to where it says Audacity Foundations. Look under that. Go down to here to where it says Importing Audio and Exporting Audio Files. That's what we need to look at. Right underneath that it'll say LAME MP3 Export and FFmpeg Import Export Libraries for other formats. This is where we need to go. Just click on the LAME MP3 Export. And LAME is an acronym. It stands for something, but I don't remember what. I think the L might stand for Linux. But anyway, this is a free encoder that many audio editing programs use when they don't have a built-in encoder. Right here it says, because of software patents, Audacity cannot include MP3 encoding software or distribute such software from its own websites. And they can't incorporate it into the Audacity program either, because if they did that, they would have to pay for it. And the goal with Audacity was to have a free program that anyone could use to create music with, and if they had to pay for the MP3 encoding, then they would have to charge for Audacity, and they don't want to do that. So this is a free encoder, though. It's just a third-party encoder. You click right here where it says LAME Installation section, and then you'll have all the instructions for downloading it and installing it. Click right here to go to the LAME download page, which is online, of course, because you're going to be downloading it. You download the installation file for the encoder and install it, just like you download and install anything else. And then you go down here where it says installing the FFmpeg Import Export Library, and click there to go to the download page for that. I think it's the same download page as the MP3 encoder. Anyway, you download that file and install it just like you normally download and install anything. Don't change any of the default settings. Let it install just like all its defaults are, because that way it will put the encoders where they need to be so Audacity can find them, and it knows where they are. And then you will just quit Audacity and restart it, and you will be able to encode, that is, create MP3s from directly within Audacity. And what's more important for us right now is having the FFmpeg Import Export Library installed. You will be able to import audio from a video. Now, I've already done this a long time ago, so I don't need to do that right now. So we're going to import the audio from the video that I made with my camera. And I've already transferred that video to my computer, so we go click on File, Import Audio, and it's that video right there, and we just have to wait a few minutes. Alright, I jumped ahead a little bit there so you didn't have to watch the whole thing import, but it took about 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes. So this is all the audio here on the bottom, this track. is the audio that came from the video. And you can see this part right here where the sound waves are much more dense is where I was actually singing. And all this stuff here at the beginning is where I was just talking for a while. I'll go ahead and highlight that. That's where I was singing, where it has the much more dense audio waveforms. And this right here in the middle with these very high peaks is where I clap my hands. Now, of course, the this audio here that came from the phone, from the camera, is of course mono, because that's how it records. The track up here appears to be stereo. Technically, I guess it's stereo, but of course the Blue Snowball mic is a mono mic. So even though Audacity defaults to recording in stereo, when you use a monophonic microphone with it, it just creates two identical channels. So this still sounds mono, and when you finish exporting it to an audio file, it's just going to be a mono file. It's not going to have any stereo effect. You don't have to worry about that. So we just leave it like that. We don't need to change that. Now, obviously, these are not synchronized. Obviously not synchronized. So we go up here to this little tool. It's a line with the arrows pointing in both directions. We click on that. This is a time shift tool, and by using this, you click and drag on a waveform, and you can move that like that. So you can change the time at which it starts, and we're going to drag it down here where it's in the area, because of obviously these high peaks right here. That's where I clapped, just like right here is where I clapped. So I'm going to zoom in on that. I'm going to highlight that and zoom in on it real tight, so we can see it really zoomed in. And now obviously this is not synchronized still. Alright, so we go back to our time shift tool and drag it into place and get these all lined up as perfect as possible. If you get them a little bit off, I'll put them a little bit off on purpose so we can hear it. You'll be able to hear a double clap. Ooh, it's so close it's hard to hear. Let me move it out here a little bit. There we go. You can hear that. So we want to get that lined up, and it's much easier to do this visually than if you only have audio. That's why I like to be able to see the waveforms. One set of claps. Okay, and another good thing to do that helps me a lot, because I can hear it much better, put it back on our regular cursor, is go to where you're singing. And even if you have it slightly off on those claps where you're not able to hear it, I can still hear a little bit of an echo in my voice if I don't have it quite synchronized perfectly. So we can just listen to this. That is where I long to be. And there's no echo there. That's fine. So that's all synchronized. Now this bottom one that came from the phone, we took that from the video, so obviously since we took it from the video, it's in sync with the video. That makes it our yardstick. We don't change it, we don't shift it, we don't time shift it anywhere. We leave that alone and only time shift the one that recorded from Audacity to put it in sync with the audio that came from the video. Alright, now we're not going to use the audio that came out of the video because that's camera phone audio. Is not very good. I can just mute that and we'll play a little bit of it. Down in Arizona, that is where I long to be. Kind of sounds like you're singing into a barrel. Mute that. Play this one. That is where I long to be. The camera audio is a little bit louder, but that doesn't make it better, and we can improve the volume of that one in a little bit. So we're not going to use this. We're not going to use any of this audio. So what I'm going to do is highlight that whole track, and I can do that by just clicking in any blank area on the control panel for that track over here to the left, Anywhere that I'm not actually clicking on something, a button or a dial that could create an effect, I just click in a blank area and it will select that entire track. I go up here to this is a silence tool. Anything that you have highlighted will silence when you click this. So I click it and silences the whole track. Now we go ahead and leave that track in there because it provides the proper amount of time at the beginning to put our Audacity recorded audio in sync with the video. So now it's all synced. So now I'm going to select everything on that top track, and I'm going to normalize it. Now normalization will increase the volume up to just below the point at which the loudest peaks, the loudest sounds in the audio wave, if it got any louder, it would clip those waveforms off and create distortion. And distortion sounds bad. We don't want that. So you can see that where I clapped here is already completely maxed out. They're all the way to the edges. That's as loud as they can go. So if we tried to normalize the whole waveform, it wouldn't work because the claps are already as loud as possible, and nothing else would change. So we don't want to select that part. I'll just drag it down here like this. So those aren't selected, and I'm not going to need that at the end. I'm going to just drag that over here like that, and it'll just normalize this part that's highlighted. So I go to Effect, Normalize, and this won't take long, about 10 seconds I guess. And you should be able to see the waveforms actually get bigger after it normalizes. There, see, they got bigger. Now the audio will be a little better. And it's also more dynamic. The camera phone audio is going to be a little flat. It's not going to be as dynamic. They have I don't know if it's the microphone or the software that they use, but it kind of flattens out the dynamics so that the soft parts are louder, the loud parts are softer, and it's not you won't have as dynamic of a sound if you use that camera phone audio. This right here is going to be the loudest part, but if you look up here on the top, okay, we got past that loudest part, and it shows that right here, it's probably hard to see in the video, but there's a couple of little blue lines here, and these show you, whoops, I accidentally clicked on it. Let me play it again. There we go. And it shows you where the loudest peak of that whole selection is. And it's not quite all the way as loud as possible, so that's just right where we want it. And now all we have to do is export it. We just go to File, Export, and I could export it as an MP3 because I have that encoder installed, but MP3 is a lossy format. It's a compressed format. Every time you save it, it will lose some fidelity and get a little noisier. We don't want to do that because we still need to put this into a video editor and create the video. So I'm going to export it as WAV. It's not a lossy format like MP3. File sizes are much larger, but that doesn't matter. We don't have to worry about size. And I've already done this, but I'll go ahead and do it again. It won't take long to export. Yeah, took about 20 seconds. Now we've got our file exported right here. That's our WAV file that we're going to use in the video. And this is all done now, so I'll just save that project and close that. We don't need that anymore. Alright, I use a video editor that's called Shotcut. It's a free video editor, and that's why I use it. There's one other reason which I'll show you later on. But it wouldn't make sense for me to buy an expensive video editor that might cost a couple $100 or more, so just use this one. It does everything that I need it to. So first thing, we got to open up our video file. Alright, I got interrupted. Alright, now we drag this down into the timeline. See how well this works. Sometimes the Shotcut has a problem running when that screen recorder is running in the background. Yeah, let me go ahead and save that. Okay, I think it'll work better this time. I just restarted it. Now, there's our video. Now the other thing that I like, this is our video track right here. The other thing that I like about Shotcut is it shows you a visual representation of the audio. You can see along the bottom edge of this in the timeline that shows you the audio, and this makes it a lot easier to figure out where you're at in the audio, in the video, and what you're doing there. We can just look down here, scroll down right here. There's 3 sharp points. That's obviously where I clap my hands, so that's where I'm going to start working in a little bit, but we'll drag it back to the beginning. And I'm going to add an audio track to this. That'll be that's our blank audio track on the bottom. Now I need to open that wave that we exported from Audacity, which is right there. And I'm going to drag that down, drop it in the audio track. Now we already synchronized this audio in Audacity, so we don't have to worry about synchronizing it here. All we have to do is drag it back and start it at 0, just like the video, and it will be all synchronized. Now we'll scroll down here to where the claps are, and we'll see how this sounds. And after I clap my hands, I want to leave some silence so I have a nice clean beginning. There we go. So we'll jump over here to where I actually started playing and singing. There we go. So we'll put the cursor right there. I'm going to select the video. Click on this, which will split it right there where I have the cursor. Then I'm going to select the audio and split it in the exact same place. And then I'm going to remove all this stuff before that split on both the video and the audio. Now jump back to the beginning. Now it starts it right at the beginning, and there we go. Now we're not going to use this audio that's in the video. That's why we recorded much nicer audio down here, this WAV file that we imported. So I'm going to just click on the little speaker icon over here to mute all of that audio that's in the video. Now I like to put the title and the composers and the date somewhere in the video, usually at the beginning. So this is a little workaround that you can use with Audacity, because it doesn't work that smoothly, and it doesn't really have text transitions at all. It kind of does in the latest update, but I haven't quite got the hang of them yet. So I'm going to do it the old way that I always used to do it. So I select the audio track, and I'm going to split it at 10 seconds. That's a good distance. That's a good time. And I'm going to add another video track. Then I'm going to copy this first 10-second part that I split out. Then I'm going to select our blank video track on top, put the cursor all the way back at the beginning at 0, and just do a Control-V, paste that in there. And then I will also need to mute the audio here, because it still has audio. It's not muted because it's a new track. So now we have a duplicate video here for the first 10 seconds, which will still just look like one video. So what I do now is put some text on it. And I'm only putting text on the little 10-second clip that's on top. So there's all the information. And since this is a cowboy song, we use like a western, one of my western type fonts like that. And that looks pretty good. Put it in the middle. Now what I'm going to do is put fades on this 10-second clip only, so that it appears that the text fades in and out over the video. So we go to that, go fade in video, and I'm going to click here so that instead of fading in from black, it fades in from transparent. That will make the text appear to fade in on the screen. And then I'm going to put a fade out and also have it fade to transparency instead of fading to black. Then I'm going to go to the main video track right here and go ahead and put a fade in from black at the beginning. So now we can play it. It'll fade in from black, and then after 10 seconds the text will fade out. Arizona, where somebody... There we go. So that's that. Now we'll go to the end and find where I stopped singing. Arizona moon, please do. That looks like a good spot. The music and stuff, we don't hear anything else going on. So I put the cursor there, select the video track, split it, select the audio track, split it in the same place, and remove everything after that split on both the video and the audio. And I like to have a fade out to black at the end of my video, so I'm going to select that video again and put a little fade out right there at the end. Now you can see that fades out. There we go. It's all fixed. Now we just have to export it. So you click export, export file, and give it the name, Arizona Moon. I've already done this, but we click on it, we do that, and it'll take this video this small, probably take like 5 minutes. And then so go ahead and save that. We shouldn't need this open anymore. Now we can go look at the finished video that I've already exported right here. See how this works. Okay, let's down in Arizona. Okay, let's go ahead and drag that back to the beginning because we can get a good look at it. It'll start in black and fade in from black. There we go. And then at 10 seconds the text will fade off the screen. There we go. Now jump all the way to the end and check that fade out. There we go. Got our video. So that's the process I use. I thought I would do this because every once in a while somebody will ask what our setup is like, how we do our recordings, and how we make our videos and everything. So I thought I would just make this video to show how I do it. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask, and I will try to answer them. Thank you very much.